The door's closing. Look at this. The door's closing. Almost. Almost. Here's the question. Run. Five more minutes. 5 more minutes and I would get my feet wet. 한국 친구들이 말하기는 저는 겉에는 외국 사람이고 속에는 한국 사람이다 그래 하거든요. 김치를 잘 먹고.
매운 것도 잘 드시고.
이번에 중국에 있을 때는 내내 계속 김치 먹고 싶은데요. 거기는 가끔 김치를 찾을 수 있지만은 맛이 없어요.
한국 맛이 안 나요.
아주 맛이 없어요. 중국에 있는 김치는 진짜 김치 아니에요.
근데 자기네 김치라고 우기잖아요.
그렇죠. 진짜
가짜 김치 갖고
자기가 담는 김치가 제일 맛있는 거예요. 근데 저는 원래 한국에서 살았을 때는 부산에서 살았거든요. 그래서 원래 부산 사투리로 한국말 배웠거든요. 근데 인천에 나중에 인천에 왔을 때는 그 부산 사투리 때문에 사람들이 흉내내죠. 웃기죠. 근데 외국 사람은 갑자기 부산 말하니까 항상 아저씨는 부산에서 왔어요 이렇게 흉내내죠. 그래서 저는 사투리 갖고 있군요.
몰랐죠 그걸.
몰랐어요. 정말 몰랐어요. 근데
맞아요.
옆에 사람들이 히히하하 웃어버리니까 금방 알게 되죠. Welcome back to Anything Outdoors with Steve. I'm Daniel. I'm the editor for Anything Outdoors with Steve. And today I'm in South Korea. Last week I was in China on business and also to catch up with old friends. And I thought on my way back I should stop off in Korea and take a day and just lay low and rest up a little bit and walk around near the airport. That may seem a little bit strange to you. In fact, it seemed rather odd to the taxi driver. He insisted, "Oh, what are you doing out here? There's nothing out here. Are you sure you want to go here?" I said, "Absolutely." So I used to live in Incheon years ago, a long time ago, and at that time there was no Incheon airport. The location for Incheon airport is on a place called Yeongjong-do, which used to be an island. Well, it's still an island, but it's connected with a land bridge now. They filled it in and built some really good highways and have some fantastic bridges. The times have changed, I'm telling you, but back when I lived in Incheon, this was an island with mostly very poor fishermen and a few farmers. And in order to access this place, you had to ride a boat from the mainland over here. And this was one of the favorite spots to go on picnics. My family and I would come here on occasion and ride a boat across. I mean, really slow boat across, chug and then walk around, have see the ocean and have a picnic and just enjoy the breeze. Now if you're looking for a beach resort, this is not it. This side of Korea, the ocean is really shallow, and when the tide goes out, right now we're at high tide, so we have a lot of water and it just looks like a normal ocean beach. But when it's low tide and the water goes out, from this point, yep, I would if I recall correctly, it's at least a kilometer, maybe even more, that the tide goes out. So you'll just see a vast patch of black mud, and in the distance then you can see the water. But this little cove, which I doubt any foreigner or tourist has ever bothered to check this out, at least in recent times. This is a little cove. This rock over here is called Turtle Rock, and it's called Turtle Rock because, well, if you look at it, if you go out and stand on that point on the rock where it says don't climb, there's a sign on it that says don't climb because it is treacherous. But if you stand over there and then you look in this direction, you will see Turtle Rock. And so the main part of this little rock outcropping looks like the turtle's back, and then there's another smaller outcropping that looks like the turtle's head, hence the title Turtle Rock. And it seems like we can go around low, we can also go high. Let's go high first. It's been a while, and I anticipate getting my feet wet, or muddy at least, before this day's over, but I don't care. Up on the top of the mountain, that is a military outpost, as we are very near North Korea. We're not far. In the past, these places, I remember there was an anti-aircraft battery up on that rock, I believe, and up where that outpost is, there were always soldiers stationed, and you couldn't take, as I recall, you could not photograph this part of the coast in the past. It was forbidden, and there were soldiers patrolling it with, you know, armed soldiers. In the not so distant past, this was one of the places where North Korean soldiers would try to infiltrate South Korea. This is where they would come and try to land some of their spies, and probably they still do. They do this on this side and also on the East Coast as well. But I'm happy to say that things have relaxed a little bit, it looks like, and you know, an old bald-headed American guy like me can just roam around a little bit and reminisce. Because it does have, in my opinion, well, I don't know, my judgment is far from being objective. You know, I have a lot of emotion invested in this place, a lot of old memories, and so to me it's a beautiful spot, very beautiful spot. And today we have a very nice breeze coming off of that. It feels so fresh, and the ocean air smells, what would be the right term, vibrant, so fresh, so vibrant. This beach I'm walking on, let me give you a close look. This beach I'm walking on is actually comprised of shells from shellfish. So I think they still do this when the tide goes out. A lot of would you call that fishermen? That's not fishermen. I don't know the word for this. People go out when there's low tide, and they have buckets and they dig up these shellfish, and then they take them in and sell them in the market. And it's quite an abundant there's quite an abundance of shellfish. At least there were in the past. I think I heard that a lot of that has been paused for a while. I think the government shut it down for a while to give all the shellfish a chance to recover in numbers. But it's an interesting place. Look at all these shells. Millions of shells from shellfish that people, they used to sit here. This is one of the places they would sit and shuck the shellfish and just toss the shells here on the ground, and it built up this very interesting beach of sorts. You probably wouldn't want to come here and lay out. Well, I don't know. It's a nice place to come have a picnic. That seagull over there on the rock seems to share my sentiments. The water here always looks a little cloudy. It's always a little brown. Right now it doesn't look bad, actually. The tide is coming in, which is, I'm glad I timed it while there's high tide, because when it's low tide it's just black mud. But the reason the water's cloudy and dark, it's not because it's polluted, it's because it's such a shallow part of the ocean that it stirs up a lot of mud when the tide goes out and when the tide comes in. And it's coming in right now. It's coming in. I can see it just creeping in a little closer and closer. I have enough room to get back out. Up here on the rock we have the king of the beach. Hey buddy, what you looking at? What you looking at? Huh? I agree. That's a cool place, huh? I agree. All right, well, enough of this, enough of the ocean, enough of my reminiscence. I've got to get back to my hotel and do a little bit of work. All right, well, thanks for joining me. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for sharing in the adventures of Steve and friends. We will continue to try and bring you some interesting adventures from the interesting places that we visit in this fine world. And I need to go fast. I need to go fast to get out here before the tide closes in on me. The door's closing. Look at this. The door's closing. Almost. Almost. Here's the question. Run. Five more minutes. 5 more minutes and I would get my feet wet. So when the high tide comes in, it goes all the way up to the rocks, and you're kind of trapped in there. There'd be a little bit of waiting to do to get out. So I timed it just right. I timed it just right. Get across just like boulder hopping in Montana, just like that.